Thanks, Bill. I'm sitting here with First Lady Carla Markell. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
It's so great to see you, and it's so great to be here.
It's a beautiful, special home. Thank you.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about the decorations and who put them all together.
Well, there's a volunteer group called the Potpourri Club, and they come in each year and they just have a fantastic time together, and they create it all. And all the decorations are from the property, either this particular property at Woodburn, or there are other places around the state like Dickinson Mansion or Buena Vista, and they collect the pine cones and they string them together, or they get the holly and they make a bough of holly. In the other room, they took some of the Osage oranges and sliced them and dried them and looped those together with pine cones. They really do an amazing job pulling it all together. But it's all natural, and it doesn't cost any money, so that makes it even better.
Sure, and the tree is just spectacular. How long does it take to decorate a tree that size here?
I honestly wasn't here when they were doing it that day, but I believe the tree they pick a theme, and so there's that whole process of assembling the decorations and figuring out what to put on there, and then actually pulling it all together. I think it's a day. It's a day, and then they do the other things. It's a 2-day job in total, doing the whole house.
Right. Well, it looks like the holidays have really special meaning here. There's also a menorah in the window, and this is the first administration that celebrates the Hanukkah season as well as the Christmas season.
That's right.
And was there what was involved in the decision to put the menorah in the window?
It wasn't a long decision. It was just, that sounds good. Let's put the menorah in the window, and for Jewish tradition, I mean, Hanukkah is not a major holiday. It's really, I think it probably came about, the celebration of Hanukkah probably came about in response to Christmas more than a big deal celebration for a lot of Jewish families. The high holidays, of course, in September are a much bigger deal. But it's just a nice tradition to have the menorah up, and it certainly represents other religions, and I think it makes our kids feel good to know that the Jewish religion is certainly recognized here.
Yeah. Well, I've been to Woodburn many times, and a few times during your administration, the Markell administration, and there's a really fresh atmosphere here. It's very modern, and very comfortable. Was that the intent when you renovated?
Yes, it was. So when we were fortunate enough to get in this position to be able to enjoy Woodburn, and Jack won the governorship. Oh, you can hear the chime ringing in the background.
It's beautiful, actually.
It is pretty. We have all the clocks working now, which is also a new thing. So that's really fun to hear that go off. But anyway, when Jack was elected, Woodburn had not had a lot of attention for a long time, and I often say to people that if Jack didn't have me, a spouse, to put energy into it, I don't know that he would be able to focus on it either. So it's certainly not in any kind of a negative reflection on any previous administration. It's simply the fact that I had the time and the interest in taking it on. So the first thing I did was call a few of my friends who I knew had the talent of being able to assess it. I should say the first thing I did was talk to Jack and see what he felt about it, and he said, as long as you don't spend any state money, you can do whatever you want to do. So I thought, okay, that's a challenge, and I appreciated that because I had the same conscience about it. I didn't, given the tough times we had and the economic conditions we were in, I certainly didn't want to go spending taxpayer dollars on Woodburn. So what we did is
another one.
Here's the other clock. So what we did is I called a few friends to consult with them, and then together we decided it would really, I mean, here we have this treasure, this gift of Winterthur Museum in our own state, and Winterthur Museum is the premier American antique museum in the country, and they're right in our backyard. And they were so gracious. The executive director, Dave Roselle, and Tom Savage and Bob Davis all came down and spent the day with us and went through the house and helped pick out what should stay, what we might want to put back in storage, and then helped us find some little treasures that were over in storage and bring them over to the house to tell the story of Delaware more. For example, the clock that went off first is a Delaware clock. And before that, there had been a Philadelphia clock inside the house, and we moved the Philadelphia clock over to the governor's office and tried to make this as much Delaware as possible. And so it's been really fun to work with them. And they put together a 10-page plan for me that included everything from color ideas to the kinds of furnishing, and they felt like, as a progressive young family, the house should feel that way too. They said you should have books around and pictures so it feels like a home and not like a museum. And I think that's what we really were able to accomplish. And so when people come, it feels like they're coming into a home. And
It
it
really
feels
is
like a home.
comfortable.
It's very comfortable.
Yes.
I mean, these chairs, I mean, you would love to sit here and read a book, wouldn't it?
By this fireplace.
Exactly, by this
Absolutely.
fireplace.
It's very nice.
It is.
Now, the volunteer efforts, volunteerism in general is very important to you, and I think that's illustrative here.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the other volunteers that helped make Woodburn what it is now. It's just stunning.
Yeah, it was a group effort. Everything from the floors to the rugs to the paintings that we have here, to some of the framing jobs that were done. It just goes on and on and on. And there was a spirit of goodwill and volunteerism. So, for example, in doing the hardwood floors, the gentleman who did those did it at cost. The people who did our painting did that at cost. And these walls had many, many layers of paint. It was a big, big job. The woodwork had a lot of layers, to the point where the Friends of Woodburn group was concerned that the molding, that the dental molding and the detail of the architecture was starting to fade because it had so many layers of paint. So they took the layers down and just did a magnificent job of restoring, but at an incredibly reasonable price. We needed a new rug for the front hall, and we had somebody sell us had somebody sell us that at cost, and then they gave us a free rug for the dining room. So it was sort of one thing after another. We had fabric that we purchased that we got for 80% off, and the Friends group paid for all of those different things to happen. The Friends group had raised the money by selling pictures of Woodburn and different things like that. So they were very generous and thrilled that we were making these decisions around the house. So, and then besides that, my friends were very helpful with coordinating the art projects. We have art on loan from Delaware Art Museum, the Biggs Museum, Brandywine River Museum, and Rehoboth Art League. We have just a real spirit of cooperation and excitement, and people felt like it was an honor to be involved in the project. So it was really fun.
Well, it certainly turned out beautifully.
Thank you.
And we did do a story about Woodburn in Delaware Today in the November issue. And when I spoke to Tom Savage, he said that the colors here are actually modern colors, but they were also reflective of the period.
Yes.
And that this rug we're seeing now was actually upstairs.
Yes.
And you moved it down.
Yes.
And much of the color scheme is based on this beautiful carpet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this rug had been upstairs in the governor's bedroom, and it was really the only decent rug that was in the house, and it was originally designed for this room, is my understanding, and we thought it would be in keeping to bring it down and put it back in this room.
Yeah.
So, but I love the color palette, and I think it really came together very nicely.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
In fact, I just did our guest room at home in this color because I loved
Did you?
it so much. And we're getting requests when that magazine, when your beautiful magazine came out and the cover had this color on the walls. Stephen, who helped me with the project, has gotten calls from a number of different people, and I have as well, you know, asking me what the color was that we used on the walls.
That was Stephen Mottola?
Yes. Who helped me with the project.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the volunteerism efforts, it's obvious that everyone was very proud to not only serve the state, but to serve the governor and his lovely wife. And it's really been a pleasure to see you. Wishing you a very happy holiday season.
Thank you. You as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.